Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, this violent British black Nigerian male fleer that went to the Atlanta metropolitan area, and he eventually ended up unaliving several people. But at the same time, Black Americans collectively are told that Black Americans are supposed to be jealous of this particular type of cretin inhuman fleer, Tether. Every day, Black Americans are told that, hey, you shouldn't delineate from these little monstrosity, inhuman grasshopper pieces of dung, tethers like this, who benefit off of black pain. Now, again, I'm not talking about certain numbers of gullible or naive type Black Americans. I'm not talking about them. Unfortunately, there is a non-small percentage. And this is also why there's consistently and more black pain. Because there are ones within the modern day culture who refuse to see what is going on right now. And so many type of scenarios are heading toward Black Americans every day. And there are a certain number of Black Americans like, well, they have the skin of black. They are my brothers and my sisters. But at the same time, you ask the question, what have they did as a collective? When every day you see black pain happen every day, right? Bad seed versions of certain, should we say, enforcement doing bad things to Black Americans. Every day you have these various types of sections of different cultures showing unbelievable hatred as if they wish they was part of the KKK. You have unbelievable, well, not necessarily unbelievable, but continuously generational hatred by certain numbers of personnel within certain parts of the Panamanian culture who keep showing inhumane hatred toward Black Americans. And you still got a certain number of Black Americans that keep talking about, well, we just got to pray about it. And don't get it confused. I understand as well that I am a believer in a certain powerfulness of prayer. But this almighty God source, however a person believes or not, is not going to simply be like, yeah, okay, you just sit on your little buttocks and you say, I'm going to pray and I'm just going to leave it alone. Now, there are certain instances, yes, that you make that better do too much stuff, but those are different kind of topics. We're not going to go on all that. So the thing about it is, let me go. But what I want to say is that when the question is asked to certain numbers of Black Americans who still refuse to see logical sense to these non give a care of tethers to Black Americans, what have these tethers been doing to see all those kind of things I just relayed over? Let me show you what they do. Yes, that's what they do. You say, I'm understanding. Well, okay, let me show a little bit. Let me get a little bit more clear on this, right? Let me sit there and show you this particular hateful tether that I did a podcast on not too far back. And there's quite a number of them just like this. Now, she tethered her little slimy little snake dung self from her origin heritage that she slid like a little snot lake over from her, again, homeland of tribalism that she could get fixed. You understand? Let's see what she thinks about Black Americans. Now, again, I'm utilizing this under timepiece purposes and fair use of doctrine, and I'm setting a direction for this particular show topic.
Black Africans and African Americans do not claim Black Americans. We are not the same. African tends to focus on progress, family values, and community upliftment, rather than dwelling on historical grievances. They prioritize education and hard work. They don't live life blaming the white man for all their failures.
But at the same time, this is what Black Americans collectively are supposed to sit there and link up with and be brothers and sisters with. Of this right here, inhuman snake charmer cretin right here too. Just keep that in mind. So let me go ahead and share my screen. It's not going to be a long show whatsoever. On that, let me sit there and just play this for a second. This is a very lucky particular type woman who encountered that violent British Black Nigerian male fleer, right? She got lucky. She wasn't one of the victims of the three innocent victims that got unalived, basically, by that earlier picture I showed you of that inhuman creature, fleer Tether, British Black Nigerian male.
So what exactly happened?
I was walking my dog around this corner and the guy was on the other side of the street and he started to approach me and he started to say something and I couldn't hear him, so I turned around and then he crossed the street and he said, "What kind of dogs are those?" And I said, "Oh, beagles." And he goes, "What about that one?" I have 3 dogs. He said, "It's a shepherd." And then I just I was only walking back. So then I just kept going because it was just kind of strange. And then he was like, "Are they nice?" And I said, "They don't really like strangers." And then I kept walking and he kept like coming at me. And then he got to us and started petting my one dog. And I was like trying to move. And then he just grabbed my and then I just turned around and screamed because I just didn't know what else to do.
Did he say anything after he did that?
Yes, he said, "F you, you're why I'm here." Or "I'm why you're here." I think. I don't even know what that meant. But he had an accent. And
What kind of accent?
I can't even tell, honestly.
What did he look like?
He, I want to say, was early 30s. Very dark skin, white shirt, black backpack, dark pants, short hair.
Do you know what kind of shoes by chance?
I don't
Did he have any hat? Anything like that on?
think so, but I can't really
Glasses?
remember. No glasses.
Any facial hair?
Think so.
Was it a strong accent, like noticeable if you're talking to him?
Yes, very much so. And then this girl we just passed up on 37, she was walking her dog, so I said, "Let's pull over and just tell her to be careful." And she said this just happened to her.
Yeah, there's about 3 reports in Northwest as well.
Oh my God,
So-
what a piece of
But at the same time, that little other cretin, particular fleer woman that I sit and showed you, trying to act like that. "Oh my goodness, well, we come from this and we come from a community and we're just all that, and these black stupid Negroes always talking about the white men," while at the same time they fleeing from British oppression, post-colonial mentality ones. It's a funny thing, but it's not, right? See, they didn't have to worry about this right here. Colored waiting room. That was less than 100 years ago. This was after World War I. This is after World War II. And this is still going on in the Vietnam veteran era. And in certain places, sundown towns, this is still going on. Not because they're African. And what is that supposed to mean? What exactly does an African look like? Especially modern times. Yes, logical common sense will be, yes, 99% of Africa will be against black skin of different shades. But what about the embarrassment that still makes no sense? Because Scramble of Africa messed up quite a number of African personnel that still suffer from post-colonial neuroticism. And they have a nerve to doing supplies to have a nerve to try to talk about Black Americans when they flee. Okay, but that's a coping mechanism within numbers of them for their embarrassment. The one applies to. Now, talking about some of the good brothers and sisters over there, or some of the slight brothers and sisters from certain sections of Nigeria, certain sections of Caribbeanism over in America. Not talking about those smaller numbers. Okay, so let's go ahead and share my screen for this. Let me go ahead and get close to wrapping this up. Man connected to several shootings across DeKalb County, Atlanta metropolitan area, in custody. So let me go ahead and play this. I'm utilizing this under fair usage doctrine.
Man is now behind bars after being accused in a string of shootings across DeKalb County, all before sunrise. 2 women are dead, another man badly injured at the hospital.
Atlanta News First reporter Mary Kate Hamilton is live for us at the DeKalb County Courthouse. Mary Kate, the accused will appear in court for the first time today.
That's right. Aloha Lukatan Aiden Abel will appear in court at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and he faces a laundry list of charges, including 2 counts of malice murder. Now, this all comes after he is connected to 3 shootings that happened yesterday morning. 2 of them were deadly, and we've spent all afternoon digging into this case. We do have new details. A man by a very similar name listed as Aiden Aloha Lukatan was arrested almost exactly a year ago on 4 charges of sexual battery in Savannah, Georgia, and he was found guilty on all counts. Now, yesterday morning in DeKalb County, 3 shootings left 2 women dead and 1 man badly injured. Police say flock camera footage traced 3 early Monday morning shootings back to 26-year-old Aloha Lukatan Aiden Abel. This all started just before 1 o'clock in the morning when police say he shot a woman outside of Checkers multiple times. Police say she died in the hospital shortly after. Then less than 30 minutes later, police say he shot an unhoused man outside of a Brookhaven Kroger. That man is at Grady Memorial Hospital critically injured. And then just before 7, he shot and stabbed a woman walking her dog in her own neighborhood in Battle Forest Park. A witness said she tried to help the woman, now identified as 40-year-old Lauren Bullis, but it was too late.
I went because I I told my daughter, I said, go get a towel. And I was trying to help her. And I was like, help is coming, help is coming. I'm just glad I was there in her final moments.
Again, he will face a judge this afternoon accused of killing 2 women. And again, I do want to point out a man with an almost identical name, just in a different order, was accused of sexually assaulting 4 women last April in Chatham County and was found guilty on all 4 of those counts.
But at the same time, when you start talking about this reality, this is what they start doing. Right? And they're like, but you really don't see what you actually just saw. What do you mean? I just saw it. No, you didn't. No, I thought, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't see. But that's all what you're talking about. I just saw exactly. No, you didn't. You know, you didn't.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
It don't have nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the fact I want something.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.